Have you ever felt like invisible forces are working in your favor, helping to steer you away from potential dangers or negative situations? You're not alone in thinking this. There are mysterious ways in which the universe conspires to protect us, even if we don't realize it's happening. In this video, we'll be exploring 10 common signs that could indicate the universe is looking out for your well-being and shielding you from harmful events. From strange feelings of calmness during stressful times to problems that seem to resolve on their own, I'll share examples of how everyday coincidences and life's funny little quirks may actually be signs that you have a guardian watching over you. So whether you're open to the idea of guidance from above, or just find these kinds of curious occurrences fascinating, I hope you'll learn something new as we count down the top signs that the forces of the universe have your back. Stick around to find out which ones may have been subtly protecting you all along, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos exploring life's mysterious coincidences. Sign 1. Delayed flights or traffic. When our lives are flowing in harmony with benevolent unseen forces, it seems that occasional delays in transportation arrangements beyond our control can divert us from hazardous circumstances. For instance, flights getting postponed, traffic jams holding us up, or public transit disruptions delaying journeys. At first glance, these frustrations just waste time rather than offering any advantage. But upon arriving at destinations later than planned, we discover narrowly avoiding unsafe interactions or being in vulnerable situations timed with our intended schedule. Perhaps we dodge interacting with unstable or corrupted individuals, manipulating others for selfish aims. Maybe we sidestep perilous locations or events during windows we would have been present, but for unexpected travel delays. It's almost as if subtle outside influences discreetly manipulated minor transportation glitches, understandably to divert activity for protective purposes. Knowing we'd persist toward destinations, this reroutes arrival points to more auspicious timings, no longer coinciding with impending dangers or compromising conditions we could unwittingly wander into. Over time, recurring instances emerge where abrupt delays continuously help us circumvent questionable exposures, avoid being preyed upon by harmful personalities, or bypass volatile environments during windows of intended appearance. And uncanny benefits often emerge from these disruptions to travel agendas when arrived. Recognizing benevolent design behind frustrating hiccups calms acceptance of impartial support we receive. Appreciating protection within perceptual mistakes assists living interdependently with vast, but sparing unseen alliance, promoting well-being through adjustment of subtle details. Sign 2. Forgotten items. Our minds can play tricks by causing us to forget small but important things. On surface, it seems an absent-minded mistake. However, some view such lapses as potentially purposeful occurrences meant to redirect plans for our protection. Perhaps you intended visiting an unfamiliar neighborhood, but forgot your driver's license leaving home. Attempting the drive without ID risks problems should stops occur. Wiser to turn back until having proper credentials. Or maybe you meant purchasing items from a roadside vendor, yet left wallet behind. Forced to postpone thoughts, unknowingly supporting illegal activities as later transpired. How fortunate to be spared involvement through a simple oversight. Similarly, forgetting important documents could prevent signing agreements before fully comprehending consequences. Leaving required payment at home halts impulse bids on questionable investments. Such minor lapses just seem to ensure prudent delay until clearer understanding before advancement. Some perceive watchful presence, subtly stimulating selective amnesia to deflect us from entering unsafe social or geographic locations, lacking identifying documentation or money for unforeseen costs. While frustrating in moment, memory slips prove fortuitous blessings, avoiding foreseeable dangers afterward brought to light. We tend dismissing this as chance, yet insightful souls note patterns of timely absent-mindedness, rescuing from lurking troubles time and again. Accepting guidance's potential benefits maintains gratitude regardless causes. An open, trusting mindset allows recognizing life's orchestration, even through ostensible faults, and cherishing protection it steadily provides. While evidence remains elusive, pondering forgotten necessities prevent unwitting perils, inspires openness that circumstances often carry deeper auspices beyond our limited sight. Focus stays on apprehending life's benevolent design, however subtly expressed, to walk ever in harmony with ways beyond understanding. Sign 3. Miscommunications. When our lives are flowing according to greater cosmic rhythms, rather than just our personal agendas, it seems small glitches or mismatches can sometimes prevent negative outcomes we'd otherwise encounter. For instance, you may get a date wrong on an important document, mess up details in confirming a meeting, or forget small aspects of a project plan. On the surface, these seem like minor mistakes with no benefits. But due to these insignificant errors needing fixes, it ends up diverting us from potential troubles or unsafe situations. Perhaps we miss crossing paths with unhealthy influences, avoid being vulnerable to risks like accidents or scams, or bypass expensive mistakes due to lack of full preparation. It's almost as if subtle forces were deliberately introducing tiny confusions just so we remedy them by making adjustments like rescheduling an appointment planned during a storm, or reorganizing project tasks allows discovering an oversight before serious problems. These little misalignments just require simple clarification. Yet in the process, they shield us from impending issues of larger magnitude. Over time, a pattern emerges where slight planning glitches or briefing inaccuracies time and again steer us to safety by needing corrections. And when we follow our responses to rectify mix-ups, beneficial coincidences often arise. As if a partner was creating brief diversions, knowing we'd naturally realign on a protected trajectory they saw was best. Seeing how innocuous miscommunications continue diverting harm suggests we're open to unseen cooperation. Small adjustments keep plans harmonious with auspicious timing rather than just our personal schedules. And recognizing the advantage in apparent mistakes helps us more often embrace reroutings as fortunate redirections versus annoying snags. Sign 4. Strange instincts. Sometimes when our life is flowing in synchronicity with greater forces, we may feel subtle inner promptings to take an unplanned action. These instincts don't seem to have a logical explanation based on our normal way of thinking, but there is a sense of importance or urgency attached to paying attention. For example, you may feel moved to reach out to an old friend from your past for no obvious reason, or you get a strong nudge to take a different route to work, try a new restaurant, or cancel a commitment you usually wouldn't miss. These changes in routine feel important to follow through intuition alone, not concrete thinking. If we dismiss such strange intuitions as mere whims, we risk missing opportunities or avoiding troubles that could arise if ignoring this inner guidance. However, by gently listening within and having an openness to change predictable patterns, we allow for possibilities beyond what the mind can foresee. This shows a willingness to be a cooperative player in the larger design, rather than only following our predetermined plans. When we heed these inner urges to alter habits or schedule paths, it's often like we were helped to sidestep problems or converge with beneficial coincidences, as if some unseen forces were rerouting us to beneficial encounters or protecting us from unseen dangers. By listening to and acting on subtle inner signals, we allow for a flexibility that lets life's flows support our journeys. Over time, making adaptations inspired by strange intuitions rather than dismissing them trains our intuition to better serve as an ally navigating life's changes. We become practiced at receiving subtle suggestions, sensing when tiny adjustments can maintain alignment. This maintains partnership between conscious intention and a higher companionship aiding life's unfolding. Overall, it's a sign we've developed willingness to be guides beyond only what's logical, further deepening connection with unseen allies supporting our growth. Sign 5. Loose change. When our lives are flowing according to a greater wisdom, small miracles sometimes occur that guide us away from danger. One subtle way this can happen is through seemingly lucky finds of spare money at crucial times. Perhaps you unexpectedly come across a few bills hanging out in the bottom of your bag or inside a forgotten coat pocket. Or a small cash gift arrives from an unfamiliar source just when your funds are running low. While initially appearing like random serendipity, these fortunate finds of loose change can influence key decisions in helpful ways. If you were previously feeling desperate, circumstances may push you to make risky choices for cash. Discovering unexpected money can relieve that pressure. You no longer feel as compelled to compromise your values, health, or safety just to pay bills due to lack of options. It's almost as if invisible helpers were subtly manipulating coincidences, knowing your vulnerable mental state. By magically manifesting lost currency during times of need, it can redirect you from harmful actions that may stem from sheer money worries or short-term thinking. Over time, if these random windfalls of small change continue to serendipitously show up just when helpful, it hints at benevolent coordination happening beyond our limited perspective. Fortunate timing suggests unseen allies looking out for our well-being by discreetly handling minor coincidences at pivotal junctures. Recognizing this pattern of supernatural assistance in life's little miracles helps cultivate gratitude. It reminds us we're not alone in navigating challenges, and subtle helpers can use even seemingly random events to steer us to safety during risky intervals, if we have eyes to see such mystic workings. Sign 6. Distracting animals. When our lives are flowing according to benevolent forces beyond our control, it seems that opportune interactions with friendly animals sometimes shield us from danger in subtle ways. For instance, right when engaged in risky behaviors like recklessly using power tools in the yard or cleaning firearms without proper caution, an unfamiliar neighborhood dog might wander over enthusiastically wanting affection, or a stray cat enters our path meowing for food just as we hurry to meet in a poorly lit area at night. While a welcome distraction in the moment, these chance animal encounters can subtly influence actions with protective effect. Perhaps the enjoyable animal interruption convinces us to pause hasty activities long enough to reconsider unsafe habits. Maybe we avoid needing to continue toward iffy situations, no longer in such a rush due to the diverting furry friend encounter. It's almost as if unseen helpers discreetly maneuvered animal happenstance when risk was afoot, understanding our actions. By magically summoning a friendly distraction, it can reroute unsafe behaviors stemming from poor judgment or impulse to more measured decisions less prone to easily avoided harm. Over time, recurring examples emerge where providential pets continuously shield from perilous acts life's normal urges might lead others into without intervention. Unfortunate outcomes often follow these mysteriously timed animal diversions, as if invisible aid could arrange even wildlife serendipity for protective rerouting. Recognizing benevolent design behind happen-chance furry interference assists living interdependently with vast, yet sparing support steering circumstances for well-being through subtle details perceptually disconnected from outcomes. Sign 7. Electronic interference. Many rely heavily on electronic devices for communication, navigation, and organizing daily life. So some see it as more than coincidence when such technology acts up or goes on the fritz unexpectedly, just in time to influence a decision or planned activity for the better. For instance, a phone or computer glitching right when finalizing unsafe plans. Say one intends to send an angry text during a heated argument, but the device suddenly dies, forcing a needed pause. Or a laptop crashes while booking last-minute travel to an ominous foreign country against better judgment in a rash state of mind. While frustrating in the moment, these electronic issues subtly influence actions for the better. Perhaps cooling off prevents escalating toxicity and harming relationships, or the travel reservation cancellation avoids walking into danger due to impulse decision made without clear head. It's almost as if subtle outside influences discreetly manipulated minor technical failures for protective purposes. Knowing questionable intentions, it redirects the action through a needed inconvenience, allowing time for perspective shift away from impending regrettable moves stemming from strong emotion or impulse. Over time, recurring examples emerge where chance tech disruptions repeatedly help bypass risky behaviors life's drama might push others toward. Unfortunate breaks often manifest after these fortuitously timed glitches require resolve, as if unseen allies arranged even engineering anomalies to divert threat discreetly through means appearing unrelated or coincidental. While disruptions understandably annoy, in retrospect many feel past electronic interference helped dodge dangers, whether smaller harms or larger life changes with unforeseen costs. An openness to this perspective reminds our reliance on technology also makes it an avenue higher powers may use to ensure life proceeds under favorable conditions. Sign 8. Environmental cues. Many spiritual belief systems see nature as filled with intelligence and perceiving far beyond our limited senses. On a subtle level, patterns, signs, and occurrences in the environment may convey guidance or warnings to benefit our well-being if we're open to discerning them. For instance, noticing ominous grey clouds rolling in just as you planned a risky mountain climb may inspire delaying to another day. Or coming upon a soothing stream outlet during times of stress could motivate relaxing meditation instead of unhealthy coping. These cues don't demand reaction, yet subtly encourage assessing circumstances and alternatives. Perhaps the changing weather prompts reconsidering dangerous exposure alone. Finding tranquility outdoors may relieve pressure enough to make wiser choices later. It's almost as if nature intuitively responds to our situations, opening helpful perspectives through atmospheric coincidence or scenic discovery. A benevolent environment aims not to control, but awaken our wisdom through her mute yet expressive presence. Over time, patterns emerge where nature constantly reroutes potential dangers or unhelpful mindsets through minor disturbances and invitations. Following subtle promptings regularly leads to fortunate outcomes, as if nourished by environment's unseen cooperation. Recognizing this interdependence reminds us that all of life conspires benevolently when honored as conscious kin. Even unremarkable details hold profound care if we attune to nature's language of enlightened, unconditional concern for our well-being. Her ephemeral yet influential signs guide our flourishing as integrated parts of a profoundly sentient whole. Sign 9. Lucid intervention dreams. Our dreams provide a way for our minds to process information and work through problems even as we sleep. Some believe dreams can sometimes take on a more purposeful role, almost acting as a form of guidance from our subconscious or even from elsewhere. What are known as lucid intervention dreams seem to clearly deliver messages meant to steer us away from potential harm. In these vivid dreams, the dreamer becomes aware they are dreaming but remains in the dream state. Then situations will arise directly related to something the person has been consciously contemplating or their habitual patterns of thinking and acting. However, the outcome of those thoughts and behaviors is depicted in a negative or distressing way. For example, someone considering quitting their job may dream of the financial hardship that results or the toll on their relationships. Or someone with unhealthy eating habits may dream of suffering medical issues as a consequence. The dream presents what could happen in an emotionally impactful manner, meant to change the thinking and decisions when awake. Another sign these dreams may be more purposeful interventions is how they do not feel like ordinary worrying or anxiety dreams, but convey more lucidity, clarity of symbolism, and memorable impact that persists upon waking. Details may directly address very specific and private concerns the person has not discussed with others. The compelling nature of these dreams, coupled with subsequent positive life changes they inspire, makes it plausible they serve as guidance from our own subconscious mind or possibly some external benevolent influence. Either way, the end result is the same: a redirection away from danger and toward greater well-being, health, or protection from harm. Even if coincidence, the dreams achieve the function of preventing potential negative outcomes through persuasion at the conceptual and symbolic level. So in summary, lucid intervention dreams represent a mysterious way guidance may manifest to circumspectly steer us towards safety and wise decision-making. often on matters we grapple with consciously in our waking lives. Their effect is to modify actions endangering our well-being through vivid revelations of unintended consequences. Sign 10. Coincidences in media. It is a mysterious phenomenon that is not well understood. How the media we consume each day can sometimes relate messages that feel deeply personal or coincide with events in our lives in strange ways. Many believe this points to some unseen organizing force at work, subtly using avenues like songs, articles, movies, television, and more to get our attention or deliver guidance when we may need it most. To the normal person going about their daily activities, something minor can capture their attention in a way that seems more than chance. Perhaps you have a strange thought or feeling that something isn't quite right. Then, without really looking for it, the very topic pops up in your social media feed or during a radio song. Coincidence, yes, but the timing feels too perfect to be ignored. It may help to see media as a type of vast shared dream or collection of symbols our unconscious minds can tap into. With so many broadcasts occurring simultaneously all over the world, it increases the odds something in that huge flow of information will mirror something personal for each individual. Our minds are constantly monitoring for patterns and meaning, even unconsciously. So when you tune in, you may pick up on parts of this shared dream that directly relate to your present situation or internal mental landscape in that moment. Things that would otherwise pass you by stand out brightly instead. It's as if some selective filter is imposed to filter just the right message to your aware consciousness at just the right instant for maximum relevance and impact. The mysterious synchronicity feels purposeful because it cuts through the mental noise with laser focus. You see, I was thinking about this exact thing, having this kind of concern, and here is outside confirmation or counsel without my even asking. The timing and targeting are what make it resonate as guidance over mere chance. It shakes us out of habitual thinking patterns by saying, pay attention to this. But we must be careful not to ascribe too much certitude or personal meaning where there is none intended. Coincidences in media could simply reflect common human concerns across many people. Our biases may also distort objective chances and inflate subjective connections after the fact. Still, when they occur repeatedly and meaningfully address private matters, it's understandable why many see signs of more profound ordering at work behind life's curious coincidences. At the least, it shows how porous the boundaries are between our inner and outer realities.